Do you want me to tell you that dream again? And you can tell, we could tape it, and you could tell me about, first tell me about what you were telling me about when I was training yesterday, about who you pretended to be, and I wasn't around that whole time, and I never heard any of this. What was...
I was pretending to be a mud man, completely, well, self-consciously, I guess you could say.
Self-consciously?
Yeah.
Interesting. You were pretending to be a mud man, so you guys were playing, and I wasn't there. And so this is the trippiest part to me, and this is one reason why I'm taping it, because you didn't tell me about that. So it's weird, because then I had this dream. So should I retell the dream?
Yes.
Okay. So the dream was a trip. What's that guy?
It's Sensei Wu.
Sensei Wu. Sensei Wu knows what to do.
He's a master of Ninjago with super special powers.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, so here's what happened. Gather around, children. Whatever, you know. Ooh, Ezekiel the swordsman. Oh, you stopped now. I thought we were gonna get you doing some swordsmanship. Okay. So, I'll tell you. Okay, so here's what happened. Stop messing with each other. Okay, so here's what happened. Super serious face. Super serious is...
More like meditation.
More like meditation face. Oh, so you're going to do standing while I... You're going to do standing? Okay. Well, you can. Whatever. Now you all look super serious. Ready to hear a super serious dream. Yeah? Okay. So, let's see. Let me see if I could change it. How do I swap this?
You can't swap it.
You can't swap it when it's... Oh!
I know. I was like that too.
Dude. Okay. So, here. You hold it up for me. Okay. So, it's weird. It is weird when the camera's on you, isn't it? Because then you got to be like self-conscious, you know, like I'm looking at the camera. Do I look at the camera, or do I pick somebody else to look at? I'm going to look at you. No, you look at me, but then I'll look at you. So that way I'm not like here, like I'm speaking to the camera tonight at the 11 o'clock news. Right? Another murder in downtown Dayton. Another house burglarized. Another...
As usual.
As usual. So, okay, so here's what happened. Where do I begin? It was a really lengthy dream, and when I woke up, I didn't download it all to the brain. And that was because we were in a hurry, and I realized it was light out by this time, and we would have to go, and so on. So I didn't have a chance to download it all. But what stood out the most was I was in this shop, and it was like a bookstore, a magic shop, herbs, everything, you know, just back when there were just awesome stores like this, before everything was online and boring. Just this really cool shop, and people were there. I happened to be there. I don't know exactly what the context of me being there was. And then all of a sudden there was this guy, and he was very dark brown skin, and I thought he was Indian. He had, I think his hair was maybe matted together a little bit. He had the hair like to here. It was straight but maybe matted, and it was dark black, but like kind of maybe dirty, you know? So it gave me the impression that it was matted, maybe kind of like dreadlocks, but it wasn't dreadlocks. It was just kind of dirty looking, but black hair. And I had the impression, because of his skin tone, the straightness of his hair, that he was Indian, from India. So, anyway, so he's telling me all this stuff, and I realized at one point that he was either completely naked or mostly naked. What made me aware of that was, as he turned away, he had up his back almost like a tattoo of all the chakras, but they weren't tattoos. They were it was energy. It was just pure energy. But the energy would go up as he'd walk. If you like, it would travel up like a surge of energy, like an old Jacob's ladder. It would go up, but it was like neon green, but a little darker, a little deeper. And it would go up. Sometimes it would go up along the edges, of a different chakra. It would go up the whole way. Sometimes it would go up along the edges. Sometimes it would go up in the middle and trace, a shape, flower, whatnot. So at one point, he turned around and he made himself. I would say 3D, but what I mean is, he became translucent, and I could like reach inside of him. So he said at one point in the future, people would give me this negative energy. And then right here, so right by the Ming Meng, or like right up from the Ming Meng, he turned the chakra into like a cauldron, and he said, you need to take that negative energy and boil it into the cauldron. And then in the cauldron was all made out of light. And he said, look in. And I looked inside of his torso. I just ducked in there. And it was all pinks and purples and reds. And it was all in there. And he said, reach in. And I got it. And I could feel it. He didn't say take it. He just said, feel it, grab it. And it was just good energy. So it had been transmuted in this cauldron. So then I came out of that. And so then I came out of that, and then he said, lay down, and there was this place. Now get down here. So there was this place, and it was like where you would be sacrificed on, like an animal would be sacrificed on an altar, unfortunately, but it went much deeper than this, right? It went very deep, like these grooves that trace the outline of where the animal would be sacrificed, and then in it dug down deep, these holes at various intervals. It would dig down. So then I didn't have any fear that he was going to kill me, but he said lay down there, so I laid down there. Oh, and right before this there was this old woman. Okay, so get me. So there was this old woman, and she didn't look wrinkly and old. She just looked very, very old, very ancient. And my impression was that she was the spirit of the earth, but I don't know. But she was like this. This is kind of how she moved. Here's the guy, right? And she's like this. She's looking at me the whole time. But she wouldn't communicate directly with me. She would just communicate with her eyes, but never with her voice. And she would tell him, and then he would tell me. So then he said, lay down there. Okay, so back to here. So then I lay down there, and I didn't feel like he was going to kill me, even though I did realize that looked like something that would drain blood into it. So then he takes this bottle of some libation, some concoction, some potion, and he opens it or whatever. I don't know if he opens it or if it was already open. I think that he opened it, but I don't remember it. But so he pours it down in there, and I see it start flooding along. So it was like right next to me here. And I look down and I see it flooding along, and then I see it going down the holes, right? And I can hear it above my head, and it like goes up something, but I don't know what it was. And so then he says, look up. So I look up, and right then it hits right there, right at my third eye, and then it's like everything just exploded into this other world, into another layer beyond where we were at. And I don't even want to describe what happened, but I was gone. So then there were some kids, and they came back into the shop. He had already sent them away, and he says, he basically tells me that I need to act normal. Act normal. They're here. These kids are here. You have to act normal. And so I start trying to talk. How's it going? And I like lift up part of my, and I say, I can't move the other side. And he says, just keep going. And so he says, what's he say? Sensei Wu made me forget. He says, just talk, and I said, I'm talking very slowly, though. And he says it sounds very normal to them. Just talk like this to them, and it will sound normal to them, even though to you, it doesn't sound normal. And so I did that, and then I woke up, and that was it. Okay.
There you go.